Ladies and gentlemen, it's a funny thing, really, the way some people walk into someone else's life and believe they're in control. They think they're the ones pulling the strings, orchestrating the whole affair, playing a game they assume they've already won. They tell themselves that they're in charge, that they know every move, that they hold all the cards, and they start to believe that they've got the upper hand, that they're the ones running the show. But here's the truth they never see coming. They were playing by your rules the entire time. They thought they had you in the palm of their hand. They thought that with just the right words, the right promises, the right little lies, they could reel you in and keep you there. They believed you would play along, stay in line, dance to their tune. They convinced themselves that they could say or do whatever they pleased, that you'd always be there, a pawn on their board, waiting for them to make their next move. But all the while, as they strutted through their game with that dangerous confidence, they never stopped to think who might have set up the board. They never paused to consider that every step they took, every word they spoke was carefully watched, that every move they made was leading them precisely where you wanted them to go. They didn't realize that while they were busy trying to manipulate, trying to deceive, trying to stay one step ahead, they were walking right into your design. Because you see, you were never just another piece in their game. No, you were the one who knew all the rules, the one who played this game long before they ever entered the picture. And as they continued to scheme and maneuver, they were too wrapped up in their own illusions to see the truth staring back at them, that you were the game master all along, the one who held every card, the one who'd been in control from the very start. They believed they could play you, but every lie they told, every move they made, was a step deeper into the web you had spun. They thought they were setting you up, that they were holding all the power, never realizing they were being led, piece by piece, to the very end you'd planned for them. And when the dust settled, when they looked back and saw the trail of their own actions, their own deceit, there was a moment of pure, cold recognition they had been outplayed, every single step of the way. You didn't need to manipulate or deceive, you just needed to let them play out their own little schemes. Because you always knew that they'd be so blinded by their desire for control, for power, the thrill of having someone under their thumb, that they'd never see what was happening until it was too late. You didn't hide, you didn't need to. You watched and waited, letting them think they had the upper hand, letting them believe they were the puppet masters, when in truth, they were the ones dancing on strings they couldn't even see. And when they finally saw it, when it dawned on them that you were always in control, that they had been moving to your rhythm all along, there was nothing left to do but admit defeat. They looked back and realized that every step they took, every twist, every lie, every game was all part of your plan. They were the ones caught up, ensnared, playing in a game far bigger than they could have imagined.
Yes.
They say life is a game. Some enter it with open eyes, seeing every turn, every hidden trap, and knowing exactly what they're in for. Others step in blind with innocent hearts and naive hopes, thinking that love, trust, and loyalty are rules written in stone. But what happens when the game isn't what they expected? When the very ground they thought they stood on shifts beneath their feet? They start to realize that the game they thought they were playing was never the true game at all, because they never saw you coming. They walk in with their guard down, believing in the stories they've told themselves. They think they've mastered the art of control, of keeping their cards close, of setting up a fortress around their heart that no one could ever penetrate. They think they know all the rules, all the moves, but what they don't realize is that you're not playing by the same rules. You see through their walls, past their masks,
We're not even playing the same game.
right into the spaces they try so hard to keep hidden. You see every crack, every vulnerability, every secret they hoped would never be found.
Yes.
They think they're making calculated moves, pulling you closer, holding you at arm's length, giving just enough to keep you around but never too much to lose control. They think they're playing a delicate balancing act, one that keeps them in the driver's seat, one that lets them decide when and where the game ends. But little do they know, every time they push and pull, every time they try to reel you in and then let go, they're walking right into the web you've woven around them. They're not keeping you close, you're keeping them exactly where you want them. As they play their part, convinced they're the ones pulling the strings, they don't see the trap slowly closing in. They don't see that you're watching, waiting, letting them believe they have the upper hand.
Yes.
They're so blinded by their own belief in their control, in their own cunning, that they can't see the truth staring them in the face. You've been 2 steps ahead the entire time. While they've been busy calculating their every move, you've been setting the stage for the grand finale.
Yes.
People like them, they think they're invincible, that they've mastered the game of love and power, that they're the ones who decide who gets hurt and who walks away. They think they're untouchable, that no one could ever outplay them. But they forget that there's always someone who's seen it all before, someone who knows every game, every trick, every lie. They don't know that every word they say, every little action, is just another step in the path you've laid out for them. They think they're leading, but all along, they've been following.
Clones.
And then the moment comes, the one they never expected. They look around and suddenly the game they thought they controlled starts slipping from their grasp. They see you there, standing with a quiet smile, with a calmness they can't understand, and it hits them they've been played.
Yes.
The one they thought they were controlling, the one they thought was hanging on their every word, was the one guiding them the entire time.
Yes.
And that realization, it cuts deeper than any wound they could have imagined. They try to piece it together, try to understand where it all went wrong, how they lost control.
From the very beginning, you never had control.
They look back at every step they took, every decision they made, and realize that each one was part of your plan. They thought they were testing you, but they were the ones being tested. They thought they were keeping you at a distance, but they were the ones being kept on a string. They thought they were manipulating you, but they were the ones dancing to your tune. And in that moment, all their confidence, all their self-assuredness, it crumbles. The game, for them, has ended.
Yes.
They're left with nothing but memories of every move they made, every time they thought they had you right where they wanted.
Yes.
They see that you let them play, let them believe, let them think they were in control.
Dance,
So
monkey.
they could learn the lesson they refused to see.
Dance.
Because sometimes the only way people learn is by losing, by tasting defeat, by seeing the consequences of their own choices. And now, as they look back, they understand that they were never the masters of this game. They were simply players on your board. They'll remember this lesson. Oh, they'll remember it well. They'll remember the feeling of certainty, of control, of power, and the way it all slipped away the moment they saw the truth. They'll remember the sting of realizing that they weren't as clever as they thought, that they were the ones who'd been caught in a game far beyond their understanding. And maybe, just maybe, they'll think twice before trying to play someone else the way they tried to play you. Because you see, there's
even stronger, smarter men. And they're waiting.
a certain strength in letting others underestimate you. There's a power in letting them believe they're in control, in letting them think they're the ones calling the shots. They don't see you coming. They don't expect you to be the one who knows every twist, every turn. And when they finally see it, when they finally see you for who you truly are, it's too late. The game has already ended. The lesson has already ended. The lesson has already been learned. And they're left standing, wondering how they could have been so blind. And you walk away unscathed, with a quiet satisfaction, knowing you let them discover their own weakness, their own flaws. You didn't have to manipulate them, you simply let them be themselves.
You're welcome.
You let them play their game, knowing all along that it was leading them to the very outcome they never wanted. And And as you walk away, you know that you're stronger for it, wiser, more aware of who you are and what you're capable of. So the next time someone tries to walk into your life with games,
thank you for your time.
remember this: they may think they're the ones in control, but you know better. You've seen the game played out before, and you know that in the end, it's not about who plays the game, it's about who controls the board.
Yes.
And you, my friend, have proven that you are the master of the board. In the end, they learned a lesson they wouldn't soon forget. They may have thought they were the masters of manipulation, the ones pulling the strings, the ones who knew the game inside and out. But they were only players, and you were the one who controlled the board.
Master Windu.
Anyone who stepped into your world thinking they could play you would one day find themselves looking back, seeing every decision, every choice, every scheme, and realizing that it had all led them right into the palm of your hand.